Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Armin D. Fiesta. This is the Red SS channel inspired by my car, a 2016 Chevy SS. So if this is your first time visiting, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button as well. If you like cars and you like to learn more about the car, check out all my videos. Today we're going to talk about how I wash my car, which is a daily driver, and maintain the paint and the wheels, etc. I get a lot of compliments about the car. It looks amazing, it looks clean all the time, it looks spectacular. I really don't do anything fancy. There's no special magic formula. It's really just about maintenance and consistent behavior and methods, and we'll get into that in the video. Disclaimer, I'm not a professional detailer. I'm not sponsored by any products you see in this video. So that's that. Now before we get into the details, it's important to understand that what I do to keep my car looking clean as a daily driver, which is, I don't have a garage, I don't park in a garage, I don't have a garage at work. It's exposed to elements 24/7. So it's important to understand that the results I get is because I also paint correct my car. Okay, that's a whole nother video. You've probably seen my car care videos, and I didn't go into detail what I was doing, but paint protection is very important. I highly recommend either you take the time and the money to invest to learn how to do it yourself, or hire a professional detailing company or service that will do a fantastic job to really get that paint corrected, getting all the oxidation off, all the iron fallout off, all the contamination off, and basically making the paint a clean slate before you apply sealants, waxes, ceramic coatings, whatever you want to do. So that is very important to do first and foremost. But this is just about car washing. Let's get to it. So first thing you have to do are the wheels, because a clean car with dirty wheels, it's like wearing a clean new suit with dirty shoes. It completely ruins the look. In fact, some days if the car is dirty and I just don't have time to clean the entire car or wash that entire car, I will just wash the wheels. So let's get right to it. You have to have 3 buckets: a wheel bucket, some people use a rinse bucket or a dump bucket, and I'll explain what that means, and a regular soap clean water bucket. We'll get to the details later. Let's start with the wheel bucket. First, you gotta get a couple of these hose sliders. There's hose slide. I don't know if they're all called that, but this helps keep the garden hose, off the wheel, off the rubber tire from getting caught. So annoying. So this helps smooth that process out. You need some type of wheel cleaner, whether it's Meguiars or EagleOne, all kinds of wheel cleaners out there. I like to use EagleOne. I have Eagle Wheel Cleaner from Adams, works fine too. Okay, if you want to go the extra step, get tire and rubber cleaner. Nothing's worse than dirty rubber on the tires. Those tires accumulate just as much gunk and grime and contamination as much as your wheels, so this will help break it down. So I highly recommend that step. Now, the brushes, I got a few brushes here. You can keep it simple. You can just get one of these soft bristle brushes, or like 20 bucks or less on Amazon. Just read the reviews, whatever you get. Can't remember who makes this, but it says Easy Detail on it, so I guess that's the company. Made in the USA. So it's very, very soft. And I highly recommend some type of wheel brush for the wheel face. This will be for the barrel inside the wheel, to get those nooks and crannies that you can't reach with your hand. This will be the solution for the wheel face. A soft bristle brush for that, or a microfiber wash mitt, where it's basically a glove. See? You put your hand in, and you wipe with the red side, all the soft microfiber side there for the wheels. You want to minimize scratching as much as you can. There's also something I'm trying. It's called the Woolly Wormit. This will be good for the wheel barrel. This will be good for the lug nut area. This is also bendable, as you can see, so you can brush behind the spokes depending on your wheel. Sometimes these brushes aren't enough. So that's for the wheel. Now for the tire, you spray the tire and rubber cleaner on, let it sit for a while, let it do its work, then agitate it and clean and scrub off with this tire brush. And that's it. Now sometimes I'll put some car soap or car shampoo in there, or all-purpose cleaner in there, with water, because you want to fill this with water. And I'll dump the brushes and tools in there in between. I like to rinse off each tool, this and that and this, after each wheel use, to remove any dirt and grime from the brush itself. So you want to start with as clean of a tool as possible before you move on to the next wheel. So that's my wheel process. So you gotta rinse off the entire area, the wheel well, the tire, inside the barrel, the wheel, the calipers. You want to get it nice and rinsed out, get rid of the loose debris. And then spray on some wheel cleaner inside the wheel barrel, around the brake calipers, the spokes, everywhere, the whole face. And you want to make sure it's soaked well. Then you take some tire rubber and cleaner and get that exterior of the tire saturated. Then you take that wheel detail brush and scrub the barrel, get behind those calipers, get under the calipers, get in between those spokes, deep into the barrel as much as you can. And then you take the tire brush. At this point, it's saturated. Just scrub that gunk off the rubber of the tire. Then you take your face brush or your microfiber wheel mitt and scrub away all the dirt and soap away from the wheel, off the wheel. Since it's a mitt, you can reach behind the spokes, and definitely want to clean behind there too, because it builds up back there pretty nasty as well. And as I mentioned before, you want to rinse off the tools before you move on to the next wheel. Now, this is not the proper way to do it. I have a camera in my hand and I have the hose in my other hand, but normally I'll just pick up each tool off the ground and do this process and rinse it all off. Then you rinse the entire area, including the paints, because you're splattering all that chemical on the car and the paint, so you want to rinse the paint off near the wheels and rinse the wheels and the tires off completely. Get all that stuff off, and now you have a nice clean wheel. Let's move on to the actual car wash process. Now, I've done the 2-bucket method for many years, where you fill this both up with water for the 2-bucket method, clean water, and then rinse water. Now, the theory would be you would use one mitt and, dunk the soap in here, slide it across the surface of your car, and then, once you're done with that, you scrub it down against the grit guard to remove any dirt you got off the paint, so the dirt gets trapped to the bottom below this thing. And that's a 2-bucket method, and that's totally fine. But I changed to the multi-mitt method, which is using multiple mitts. I have about 5 or 6 in here, and I'll just divide the car into panels or areas. One mitt for the front, a mitt for the driver's side, a mitt for etc., the back, etc. So each time I finish washing that area of the car, I put the used mitt in there. I don't use it again, because essentially you're picking up dirt onto that mitt each time, and I don't want to dump it in water and risk thinking that maybe I didn't scrub it off or rinse it off well enough. I just want a fresh mitt, basically. Imagine brushing your teeth and then sharing it with the next person. Yeah, gross, right? It's kind of the same premise. You want to start with a fresh, clean toothbrush. I don't think everybody does that on a regular basis, but that's kind of the concept. So I don't keep any water in there. That's just a dump bucket. That's why I called it a dump bucket. I dump all my used mitts in there, and after washing the car with soap and water, I dry it off with a good quality microfiber towel. In this case, it's an Ultra Plush towel from Adams Polishes. You can get any towel from the right company, Dallas Paint Correction. There's all kinds of vendors that sell good drying towels. This is just an extra step don't have to do this, but I recommend it because you put water in here, put some car soap in there, like a good squeeze of amount, and it turns it into a gun. Basically, it's a foam gun or foam cannon. There's different variations. This is a cheap version. I don't feel like lugging around a pressure washer, even though people love that. I settle for a cheaper version, which is just connect to a garden hose and use this as a foam gun, as you'll see in the video. And what this does, it puts a layer of soap to break down whatever surface dirt you have on. Right after you rinse off the car first, rinse it off with some water, and then spray it with some soap, just to help bring more lubricity onto the paint. Lubricity is very important when it comes to washing your car. Anytime you touch your car, you want it to be as slick as possible. What better way to do it than with good quality car soap? I'd go through that extra step to minimize scratches. Minimize, not get rid of. Keyword is minimize, because you'll always get a scratch, but light scratches no matter what. You just want to minimize them. As far as what car shampoo, car soap, well, you can use any good quality one. Meguiars, there's all kinds of good stuff out there off the shelf. I use car shampoo from Adams. I've been using that for years. I've been happy with it. I use their wash and wax too sometimes. That's basically it. It's not rocket science. So after I, do the water, fill it, spray it down with this foam cannon, rinse the car off, and dry. I use multiple mitts. I don't use the same mitt twice. Then last, I'll hit the exhaust tips with some all-purpose cleaner just to get some more of that gunk off if it didn't come off during the regular wash. I don't use any of my mitts, by the way, to clean the exhaust tips, just so you know. I have a separate sacrificial microfiber towel for that. But this helps break it down, the dirt on the exhaust tips, so I'll use that sometimes. But for the paint, all the other surfaces, the wheels, I like to spray Sunax Spray and Seal. It's easy. Just give it a squirt, don't need too much, and you rinse off immediately. It's that simple. That's one of my favorite things about this. It doesn't last as long. I want to say I can get a good few weeks out of it. It's daily driven, so it's beat to hell as far as the elements. But it's a nice maintenance seal, which is what I look for. If you're looking for something more durable, I'll use Adams H2O Garden Gloss. It's a little bit more durable. Both give it pretty good shine, but when it comes to a daily driver, you want to use a sealant. Waxes are nice, they don't last as long though. They're not necessarily as durable, at least it's standard carnauba wax. They'll last a while depending on how you drive it and where you drive it, but in the DC area as a daily driver, it's beat to hell. All kinds of exposure to all kinds of weather, road grime, debris, all that stuff. So I try and get something somewhat durable. I stick with a sealant. To me, that lasts longer than a wax. The car is still wet. I like using either one of these. The instructions usually say that works best on the wet dry application, but I honestly have been doing fine while the car is still wet after rinsing off all the soap. I'll spray either one. With this, I'll just spray and then rinse off. This one takes an extra step. You have to spray, and then, with a damp, the surface has to be damp, or you had your microfiber towel has to be damp. You have to wipe it on, and then take a dry towel and then wipe it off. So it's a little extra steps, but it's a lot more durable than this one. And always remember, wipe in straight lines, whether you're detail spraying it or waterless washing it or just doing a standard hand wash. Straight lines, not circular motions. You want to avoid those circular scratches and swirl marks. And a word about using automatic car washes or those coin-operated car wash bays. Just think about this next time you go in there. Would you use someone's toothbrush who's used it over and over again, as well as 100 or even thousands of other people that have used that same toothbrush? Well, that's kind of like an automated car wash or one of those coin-operated car wash bays. It's just gross. I wouldn't let any of those tools touch my car, and I don't think you would either. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.